Rock Metal Nation, what is up? Real quick before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that Rock Metal Studios, the very same studio that brings you the Rock Metal podcast, is looking to help bands who are able to record their tracks either at home or in a professional recording studio, but need some help mixing. Go ahead and send me an email at therockmetalpodcast@gmail.com. That's therockmetalpodcast@gmail.com. We can go ahead and discuss mixing your tracks for free. The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 139 with Follow The Cipher. All right, Rock Metal Nation, what is up? This is John from the Rock Metal Podcast. As you just heard, was it Valkyria by Follow The Cipher, who I've got on the show with me right now. They've got a new self-titled album set to release via Nuclear Blast Entertainment on May 11th. Right now I'm being joined by Ken, Linda, and Victor to share some stories about the music and share more info about the band. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to have you guys on. Let's go listen back to that track, Valkyria. Come back from Valkyria. Now, that synth line is absolutely addictive, and the vocals are just super powerful. It's like it blew my soul off the minute I heard it.
Cool. Yeah, that was the whole point, I think.
Now, I'm curious, what's the story or inspiration behind the track?
Yeah, well, I believe Linda and I started out with the song, the first part of it, and at that point, I remember the plan was to make a really aggressive verse, I think. And Linda has had an awesome feeling in the studio, and you went right for it, Linda, and gave it all by the microphone. And we sent it to Victor after that, and it blew his mind. So he came rushing by. He took his car and drove like a few miles just to be a part of the writing process. And after that, you wrote the chorus, Victor.
Yeah, exactly. I got stunned by the sound, and I just felt it like, oh my God, I must be on this thing. And as Ken said, I drove over, and we started writing the chorus. We tried some things, and it went as it did.
Wow. Yeah, but it is like it's meant to be a powerful, aggressive song on the album, and I think we managed to make it that in some way.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly collaborative. I'm curious, is the writing for the entire album that collaborative?
Well, Valkyria is kind of special, apart from another song, Starlight, as well. Those two songs are very alike in the songwriting process, because Vico and I have written those two songs together. And but Valkyria is kind of special, I think, because we have so many elements packed into that song. We have the keys that are similar. It has a kind of relationship to our other song, The Rising, on the album. And the real aggressive parts, as we spoke of before, has its own place in the song. Linda puts out a special kind of technique on your voice on that song, and also Victor, you put your powerful voice on the chorus as well. So it's packed with different kinds of elements, and that's what I think is kind of cool about that song.
Yeah, incredibly. With regards to the lyrics, what's the track about?
It is meant to picture like a final battle kind of ain't that right, Vic? Isn't that kind of the interpretation of
like taken directly from the war field? We have another song that's more like taken before the war, but this is like a very powerful, aggressive song that happens like in the battle or something, I think.
Yeah, and that's the connection with the aggressive vocals as well, because it represents very well the hysteria of the battlefield in some kind of way, and it is a kind of, what you say, a sci-fi story. Much of our album is a sci-fi story. We want to put the movies into our music, and Valkyria, in this case, describes the final battle in some kind of sense.
Wow, cool. Now, for Rock Metal Nation who dug the track Valkyria, if you go ahead and go to today's show notes, that's www.therockmetalpodcast.ca. You can go ahead and see the music video for Valkyria. Now, guys, go ahead and take us through what went into creating the music video.
Yeah, the creation of the music video. I believe that was a very, very fast project to solve. We had a really fun time doing this with a guy called Paul who filmed everything. He also filmed the Carolus Rex video just after we have finished the Valkyria video. I believe Ken had some ideas how he wanted the color thing in the video. Wasn't it like that, Ken?
Yeah, it was a discussion with everyone in the band. I believe I came up with the thought about using the red element as a focus point for it. But I believe Paul he took this to the next level in some kind of way. Also with the whole directing and everything about with the music video. So. A lot of this is in Paul's mind, I think, when he made the video. So we gave him like free hands to experiment with what he liked to do, and we came with some inputs, what we wanted to change and stuff like that. But and as Vico said, it went really fast to do all these things because we had a tight deadline. But in the end, it represents what we. Yeah, it represents Follow The Cipher pretty well, I think.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Let's go listen to the next track, Carolus Rex. Rock Metal Nation, it's John from the Rock Metal Podcast for a real quick break to let you know that Jay over at Metal Mayhem Radio is looking to help you get your band in rotation on his station. So go ahead and hit up Jay at studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. That is studio@metalmayhemradio.co.uk. Just go ahead and say that the Rock Metal Podcast sent you. He'll get you into rotation on Metal Mayhem Radio. Coming back from Carolus Rex. Now, I'm curious, what inspired the rendition of the Sabaton tune?
Yeah, it was actually Nuclear Blast, Marcus from Nuclear Blast, that came up with the idea. We spoke about having a cover on the album, and we didn't know kind of which album we wanted to use. But Marcus from Nuclear Blast came up with the idea, hey, why don't you use Carolus Rex on the album? It would fit very well. And we said, yeah, let's try it out. So I believe that was the main thing that made us try it out. It also turned out quite good. And it has, in some sense, in our music, we also write about battles and the war theme in some kind of sense. And the Carolus Rex song also obviously has a kind of a war theme in it. So it also fits the theme of the album in some sense.
Yeah, and I'm curious, when you guys were working on that track, did it immediately feel right, or did it take a little bit to work it into your guys' style?
I would say I felt directly that I loved to sing that song. So it was no hesitating at all from my side. I don't know about you guys, if you...
No, but I believe the work went pretty fast on recording that song. It felt natural, and there were actually no problem at all with that recording process.
It was smooth and nice.
Yeah.
It was the first time. I think everything went through very smoothly, and also, and also the first time I heard you, Linda, sing the song. It was the song was written for your voice as well. So
I felt that too.
And that helped out a lot, because it made things so easy to do.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, I felt that the song has everything that my voice like. I can do the more small things with my voice, and then I can be the power in it, but not too high, not too low. It's perfect for my voice, so that's why it worked so good from the beginning.
Cool. So for Rock Metal Nation who dug the two tracks, Valkyria and Carolus Rex, are just frothing at the ears. They know that there's a self-titled album coming up on May 11th. Go ahead and tell us about this album. What should we expect when we pick it up?
I think you should expect a kind of broad spectrum of genres on it in some cases, because Victor and I, as songwriters, come from two kinds of places when it comes to the genres we love, and what do you say? My history comes from like the 80s kind of stuff, like Bon Jovi and melodies like that, and not only, but a big part of it. And I believe, Vico, you're
I come from a much harder kind of genre. Ken is more like this melody machine. I think I'm a more rhythmic guy, and I listen to much harder music, and that's a great ingredient, I think, for the diversity of the sound of the album.
Yeah, and because of the fact that Vico and I has written only 2 songs together. Apart from that, we have split the writing process, so we have written about roughly half of the album each. So you can expect quite a diversity with the sound on the album.
You can also expect that the money you have paid for the album were well paid. Mm-hmm. You won't be sorry for it.
I'll wish I have spent more money on it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Go back to 1995 prices, play in incredibly inflated prices on CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, the next logical question on Rock Metal Nation's mind is, how can we find out more about you? Is there a place that we should go to on the web?
Our Facebook, it would be the best place to find new information. We try to be very active there. And Linda tried to answer every comment that we get. So that would be a great place to check out.
Fantastic. Well, guys, listeners, anything else you wanted to throw out there? I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to come on to the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing Follow the Cipher with Rock Metal Nation.
Yeah. Rock on and listen to Follow the Cipher.
Yeah.
All right, Rock Metal Nation. Hopefully you just found your new favorite band and Follow the Cipher. Big thanks again to them for coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.therockmetalpodcast.ca to get all the information on the show you just heard today. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.
Rock